I can say, I mean, he said it in my face to say, I am not going to argue with him. I am not going to say anything bad about him, because he brought me here. So that kind of fear, that's where you find the executive cannot really
so
do
an
what
entire
it's supposed to do.
National Executive Committee fears the fact that Dr. Danny Jordaan, according to what I'm hearing, might kick you out of the NEC, therefore they keep quiet?
There's a list of those that have been kicked out for saying something.
The touchdown every single day, weekdays here on Metro FM between 3 and 6. It's our pride and joy, really, and rightfully so. Every single day. Aye, by Shaindu. And they hand it over to us, that very same Dugu. It's called a baton in English, and we run with it till faith comes in. And after that, you know, it's a little bit of music with a little bit of talk right here on the Mighty Metro Sports Night, amplified with Andile. I am Andile Ncube alongside with my team. Today we get down to a matter that you've asked us for so long. We had to do the investigative things before we brought it to you, but finally we'll get to do so. The South African Football Association offices were raided. The Hawks got in there looking for documents, taking things. The South African Football Association then retaliated, or responded rather, in an email, and they sent out to everybody and said, hey, that was unlawful, was malicious, they don't understand it, and they are going to take them to court. So in getting through all of this, we wanted the root cause of why they're there in the first place. Yes, we heard about the 1.3 million, but who blew the whistle? And what does that person know? And how do they know what they know? Do they know it for a fact? Can they provide those facts? Many a times, Danny Jordaan, South African Football Association, alongside with President Danny Jordaan, Dr. Danny Jordaan, mind you, have been cast into this sort of spell. But up until now, not much has happened. This is probably the closest thing that's ever happened to police and Dr. Danny Jordaan. The man who blew the whistle, the man who went to the Hawks, is with us. It's 11 after the hour 6 on the Mighty Metro FM. We'll be getting into our main story. Hey, I've also got an update for you, but I'll tell you that towards the end. And also a big message here that somebody's saying to Faith and I. So when Faith comes in, I need to get into my DMs and read that message. It's a very heartfelt message that we need to get to. That's going to happen on the other side. Right now, though, let's take a look at what's happened today. Zola Majavu, the PSL prosecutor, had something to say about what happened and transpired at FNB Stadium. This is Zola Majavu.
Zola Majavu, PSL prosecutor, further DC update. As an aside, I can also confirm that there will be further developments on Friday, wherein another club will be facing charges of misconduct on account of spectator misbehavior. Once that matter is finalized, hopefully on Friday, I will then give a full update. And in the intervening period, no further running commentary will be done on this matter. End of the release.
Well, we're going to have to wait and see as far as that one is concerned. As you know, Zola Majavu doesn't take any interviews, doesn't have what he calls running commentary, so that's all we're going to get up until now. We did ask the question as to say, you know, Chiefs, it's not the first time. So what's going to happen now? There was a suspended sentence. When was it suspended for and for how long? Have they crossed that line? And what is to be punishment for their fans who misbehave once again? I mean, I saw one go very near of those missiles, very near Jessica Mutaung, who was trying to calm the fans down, up until Gemiso went and pulled her sister and said, no, this is too dangerous even for you. Let's move on to another story from earlier today. Mamelodi Sundowns have found out their fate as far as the draw in the Champions League, and they way to the final. Have a listen.
Now that we have our quarterfinals draw, let us have a look at the teams again. In quarterfinals 1, we have Simba against Al Ahly, a very familiar fixtures. We have in quarterfinals 2, TP Mozambique against Atletico Petroleos. In the quarterfinal 3, we have Esperance de Tunis against ASEC Mimosa. And quarterfinals 4, we have Young Africans against Mamelodi Sundowns. And this completes our draw this evening for the quarterfinals, semi-finals, and the final. Wishing all the teams all the best of luck. And quarterfinals will start in the month of March. And we would be making exceptions for the kickoff times to make accommodation for the teams that are observing the holy month of Ramadan. So in the meantime, thank you very much, Ahmed Hassan and Siakatene. All the best to all the teams, and we're looking forward to seeing who is going to be crowned the champions for this edition. Thank you and good evening.
An exciting draw. I'm pretty sure Masandawana feel very comfortable and confident in that draw there, playing the young Africans. There is a game tonight. It is the Tshwane Derby. SuperSport United, Mamelodi Sundowns out at Loftus Stadium. It's a chase for the 1,000 passes for Mamelodi Sundowns. So no longer just 3 points. 3 points being the first tick. And then after that, can we get to 1,000 passes is what they're trying to do. 3 games in hand at the moment, but already over double figures as far as the gap between themselves and second place Orlando Pirates. It could grow even more, 3 points more this evening. That game kicks off at 7:30. Let's take a break. When we come back on the other side, we set up our story. The Hawks raided the South African Football Association. What was interesting about this is, as the raid is happening, we're sitting in the auditorium at the SABC, right? And I can look at my phone and I see the stories breaking. I look around me, it's all football people. And I can see that we're all getting the same story. And guess where Dr. Danny Jordaan is? He's on stage. We're all looking at him on stage as the raid is happening. He's on stage giving, of course, his farewell speech, so to speak, speaking on behalf of SAFA after the passing of former Bafana Bafana captain Skizo Simpiwe Mkhanza. It was one of those moments was a bit surreal, because from then on he comes and he sits right next to me and my colleague Vusiwe, and I kind of look down and I look at him and I wondered what must be going through your head with something like that at that moment. But the South African Football Association has since come back and called this malicious. I'd love to hear from the man that started it all off, the man that's put the fire in the Hawks. And unlike people before him, he doesn't seem to be letting go. After the break. It's 18 after the hour 6 on the Mighty Metro FM. And tonight on Sports Amplified with Andile on the Mighty Metro, we take a close look into the story that broke last week, where the South African Football Association is once again in the limelight after the Hawks. The South African Police Service says Directorate for Priority Crime Investigation, they initiated a search and seizure operation at SAFA's headquarters out in Nasrec. The operation occurred on Friday, the 8th of March, this past Friday that we just came from. The Hawks pinpointing SAFA President Dr. Danny Jordaan as the main suspect in an alleged act of fraud and theft at the organization to an amount of 1.3 million rand. Now in studio, we're joined by the former NEC member, Willy Moroka, to tell us more after he is the one that opened the case. But in case you missed the hurrah last week, the allegations of fraud and theft amounting to 1.3 million was SAFA President Dr. Danny Jordaan was a focal point of a case that the police say has been ongoing for at least 5 years. Here's a Hawks spokesperson, Colonel Katlego.
We've followed this case since reporting around 2019, and we have looked through the merits of the complaint and went as far as trying to get more evidence before we arrest anyone, so that we are able to link whether it is one person involved or it is many persons involved.
A total of 6 cars carrying about 10 members of the Hawks are reported to have arrived at the SAFA head offices on Friday morning, carrying the search and seizure warrant, which has been asked for by SAFA, saying it was illegal as there was no warrant that was issued. Now, according to Mahale, they are following allegations that between 2014 and 2018, the SAFA president used the organization's resources for his personal gain without the approval of the South African Football Association's National Executive Committee.
The Hawks Serious Commercial Crimes Investigation executed a search and seizure warrant at the South African Football Association offices. The search warrants were prompted by allegations of fraud and theft amounting to 1.3 million rand. And these allegations are purported to be between 2014 and 2018, wherein the president of SAFA used the organization's resources for his personal gain, including hiring a private security company for his personal protection, a PR company without authorization from the SAFA board.
Now, if you're wondering what they took from there, well, was a laptop, external hard drives, a USB, documents were seized from the SAFA offices, according to Mohale. Currently, the allegations are pointed at one person and one person only.
Definitely at this stage, we are in the investigative stages where we want to basically put our ducks in a row so that once we arrest someone or someones, we are able to put a watertight case before court. It will be overzealous of us to preempt how long an investigation takes. We follow what the investigation is directing us to, so that one cannot put a time frame to.
2 years ago, reports emerged that former SAFA NEC member Mr. Willy Moroka had reported a case at the Poisons police station against SAFA president, alleging that a communications company had been employed to clean up his image after charges of alleged rape were laid against him. At the time, the Hawks also confirmed that they were investigating this matter but couldn't divulge more information about it. Mohale outlines the process for this current investigation.
The allegations are against one person, but the purpose of the search was to amass some of the evidence so that we can follow the money as it is put. We have a laptop that was seized, external hard drive, a USB and document, which all must be looked into or investigated by the financial accounting investigation, so that we are able to see that money went from point A to point B received by C, or money went from point A to B and received by HFG.
And lastly, last night, SAFA released a hard-hitting statement dismissing the Hawks search and seizure warrants as unlawful, malicious, and not conducted in terms of the directives of a warrant that was given to them. They further claimed that the allegations of fraud and theft amounting to 1.3 million rand that the Hawks were following in is an amount that they are aware of and satisfied that it was for services rendered for which contracts can be provided. Namhale also revealed that this case is related to the warning statement that the SAFA president provided to the Hawks last year.
Yes, you must remember that a warning statement just puts you on notice that we are looking into you. Therefore, it is also a type of saying, can we receive cooperation in this regard? At this stage, yes, the allegations are that of fraud and theft.
Former NEC member with the South African Football Association, Willy Moroka, is with us in studio. Dr. Willy,
Tobe,
how are you?
I'm fine, boss. How are you?
No, I'm very good. Good to see you.
Thank you.
You are obviously, as I said, a former member. You are no longer at SAFA.
No, I'm no longer at SAFA.
When did you leave SAFA?
I would say after I was not part of the last 22 elections. I didn't put my name in, and I just felt I'm no longer interested.
So did you leave SAFA with your own accord? Did you decide, at your own accord that I no longer want to be a part of SAFA, therefore you left SAFA?
Look, they actually called me for a DC. They say they sent me some charges to say I've actually opened a case against the president. And that they called me for a CD. I said, I'm DC. I said, I'm not going to that DC. I refused to go into that DC. So they took a decision on that DC without my presence. It was myself and Gay. We said, we are not going to attend that DC because I've never seen anywhere in the world when you open a case for against whether a president or what, then you can be charged for that. And then we said, no, I'm not going to attend that DC, so I didn't go. So they sent me documentation saying I'm suspended. Okay, I waited. I'm still waiting. And because according to the SAFA constitution, if you are suspended, you must go for where you actually have to be expelled. And the only people who can expel you is the Congress. So the Congress never set on me for expulsion. And I'm still waiting for expulsion, hence I say I left. I was never expelled.
The reason I ask you these questions in this manner, Dr. Willy, is because I'm trying to figure out if you are a man scorned, maybe. You are a man that feels you were hard done by the association and you want some sort of retaliation. I'm trying to figure out what the relationship between yourself and the association, and by extension the president, is like or was like before this point.
Look, I've got nothing against the association. I love football. and I've been in football for the rest of my life, and I'm one person who actually I've never skipped a position in SAFA. All the positions that I went through accordingly up to the NEC. And I love football, I love SAFA. I never had a problem with the president, but there's one thing that I hate, when people start to take the association's money for their own benefit. And I said this even at the first day. They approached me. They approached me. I was a president of SAFA Tswana by then. They said they needed my expertise at NEC, but I said straightforward, I am not the person that is going to be moved around when I see things are wrong. They said, no, we want people like you. So, yes, my experience for the 2 terms that I've served there, it was like I'm sitting with people that always you differ. I always have different views from the entire executive, and yes, but I knew I went there to go and serve the football lovers, not really to go and serve myself. Hence, I hated when people do wrong things, more especially when you have to deal with the young kids there. And I was hopeful that once we hosted the World Cup, we'll be like the rest of the other countries that we hosted the World Cup. Can give you an example of America. We used to call them Mahipi. They will never make it in any way in the World Cup. But after we hosting the World Cup, America has been doing well. Sometimes they went up to semi-finals. But look at SAFA. We hardly qualify for AFCON. It's only now that by luck we went to that far. And the kind of money that was used, we received, is the kind of money, when you look at the young boys, I used to have under 12. I used to have under 15. I used to have, when I started, I was dealing with the young kids. And I used sometimes to find, I buy Cox for them, soccer boots. My kids don't have something at school. They need a textbook or so. And my wife will open the boot and find a lot of new boots in there. Then we'll fight. And so that's when I see that we need to look at the kids with this money, because the FIFA money was meant for everybody, more especially football lovers, football kids.
So then, when do you get to a point where you stand up and you go, talk me through, what year is it, where are you, how do you find out the information that you found out, and what proof did you have when you went to report this?
Look, I didn't have any proof. Like I heard you saying I'm the whistleblower. I'm actually not the whistleblower. Dennis Mumble is the whistleblower.
Of course, we've had Dennis here.
Yeah. I heard that Dennis has a dossier. And somebody gave me 3 pages. I read that dossier, but it was just 3 pages. Then I said, no, there's no story here. So while I was reading the 3 pages, then within the group, in our WhatsApp NEC group, there comes the whole dossier. I went through it, read the whole thing. So I discovered that there's a lot of things that has happened here. But there were 3 issues, the 3 items that I realized these are criminal activities. Taking the money for personal use, 2 of them. One was the Fun Valley one. Then I said, I wrote to...
Fun Valley is what is supposed to be the South African Football Association's technical training. That's where all of that is supposed to happen. And I can tell you now that at that training center, I think about a month or 2 months ago, there were 2 coaches that were spending some time there, and they got robbed while they were there. Because the security is not only horrible, the venue, if you've ever been to it, is, I mean, I can't even begin to describe what it looks like.
Yeah, I haven't seen it since I left SAFA.
It looks exactly the same.
Yeah, I haven't seen. Yeah, but yeah, that was the whole thing. I picked up those 3 items. Then I wrote in our WhatsApp group, the NEC. I said, guys, there's an issue here. Can we have an urgent meeting to go and talk about this? Because this is something that is malicious and all that. We need to talk about it. Guess they respond. Everybody say, no, Dennis is no longer a man. He's out. We are not going to talk about this. That was on WhatsApp. Then I wrote an email to everybody to say, guys, here's an issue. If you still reject it, I will take it upon myself, because this is the issue that really we don't want. Our duty here is to make sure such thing does not happen.
So the issue is the money that was supposed to go to Fund Valley. That's one. The 2,
I'm just
you said 3.
About
what was
the
the
whole
3?
Report. Yeah.
So what was the 3 that stuck out for you?
There was the Fund Valley one. There was a personal security.
What do we mean by personal security?
Like when you go out here, people guard you.
So Danny Jordaan had his personal security.
Yeah.
The SAFA president doesn't get some sort of protection in terms of security from the organization?
No, that one was the one was the 2018 SAFA election at the Sandton Sun at the convention center. So somebody from the same office gave Mumble that invoice. So when Mumble wrote that, he had the invoice, which was paid to that security. The money was paid to that security. That you remember the day when Danny was against Andile? No.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, that was the day when he had this security, those who were supposed to guard him.
Was that just for the day?
Just for the day.
And how much was that?
40,000.
So 40,000 rands for the day, people guarding Dr. Danny Jordaan, and the invoice was 40,000.
Yeah, paid by SAFA.
Paid by SAFA.
That's where Mumble said
okay,
he does not know about this. Those are some of the things he put.
So then where's the other 1.26 million?
The 1.3 million, it's just a figure. There's a lot of money. There was this security.
Because at the moment I'm hearing 40,000 and I'm thinking, but Willy,
yeah,
you know, are we here over 40,000? Where's the rest of the money that we're saying has been stolen?
The other money was this PR company.
Mm-hmm.
The PR company was charging SAFA something like 1.3 million a month.
1.3 million rands a
Somewhere
month
there,
for a PR company.
Yeah, for that.
What is a PR company doing?
I didn't know, because by the time that PR company was there, I was part of the communications department.
So there's a communications department and a PR company.
Yeah.
Okay.
And as the communication department, you knew nothing about that. There was any PR company.
Okay.
We were having our meeting.
Do you know which company it was?
What is the name again? Just the name Mumble knows, but
okay.
Yeah.
No, I'm pretty sure Dennis is listening.
Yeah.
We will get it.
Yeah, you'll get the name. I know the company, but it just went off my. Maybe I'll remember the company as we go on. So, yes, that was so.
So you don't know what this company is doing?
I don't.
There's
know
no reports from this company at the end of every month.
Look, we were sitting in the communication and marketing division. We were the ones that will report to the NEC every month, come up with a report to say, this is how far we've gone, this is how far we communicate, this is how far we do everything that getting all the people that are working on marketing, on communications. We never heard of the company. The only time I heard of the company is when I see it on Mumble's report.
So it didn't even show in the month-to-month the budgetary reports and all the stuff that you were getting that is money affiliated. You weren't seeing it there. It wasn't reflected there.
I'm sure you've heard many of everybody saying that when you are an NEC at SAFA, you don't even know it.
Great communications.
Great communications.
Yes.
There you are. You will never see a bank statement of SAFA, how much they have, how they use the money.
Even in the NEC, you don't see that?
No.
Who sees those things?
I don't know. It's a CEO, CFO, I'm sure, probably maybe with his president.
Okay, so that's fine. So 1.3 is going to this company every month for PR.
Every month for something like 1.5 years, somewhere there.
So you don't know what this PR was?
No.
So the allegations that it was to clean up Dr. Danny Jordaan's image after the rape allegations, do you know anything about that?
I wouldn't know because, like I said, I took information from, I never saw that PR company. I took information from what Mumble wrote.
Okay.
So, and that's what I did. So immediately after everybody said no, then I said to them, guys, it's fine, but you have this called... what they call this dummy thing to say whistleblower. They had a Sakumi type of a thing called whistleblower. So when they refused, all of them, to say, no, we don't want to hear things that we cannot discuss Mumble, I took that Sakumi, I personified it, wrote a little poem about it being stranded and all that. They all laughed at me. Then I said on the WhatsApp groups, guys, I'm going to open a case. That's when I phoned Dennis to say, Dennis.
What year is this?
That was 2020. I remember it was on the 20th of, not the 20th, the 5th of June.
You opened a case
2020.
Against who?
Against Danny Jordaan. Because what happened was, I said to Mumble, can you provide proof of what you wrote? He said, yes. Then I said, can you accompany me to the police station to go and open the case? He said, yes.
Did you see the proof?
Yes, he showed me the proof.
What was the proof?
The proof was the invoice, the first one, that
the security company
the security company, the payment, proof of payments of Grid Communication.
The monthly 1.3 million.
Monthly 1.3 million, whatever. I'm subject to correction in terms of the how much, but I know it was 1 point something every month. So, and I saw that. Then I said, okay, Fun Valley. He said, Fun Valley, he showed me.
So this company, this Grid Communications, got something like almost 24 million in a year and a half.
The shock part is that even when Gay was the CEO, he confirmed that they were still paying that company.
How long is this period now? Because I'm counting the year and a half you're saying.
From
and I'm coming
2017, I'm sure somewhere from 2017, 18, 19, 20, somewhere there.
Jeez.
Yeah. So
paying a PR company when you've got a communications department, exactly. 1.3 million rands a month, and nobody at SAFA knows what they're doing.
Yeah, nobody knew that there's such a company. Like I say, I was a member of the communications. Not just a member, a vice to Mavrovan. We'll plan and go and check everything, but we never knew that there's such a company. So, unfortunately, I just said, no, I've got to take it to the law enforcement. We don't have the resources. They will do their own, they will use their own resources to investigate the whole matter. And the funny part that I still don't understand SAFA, even though we love it, is here's a person saving their money or saving their image. No, you are the one who's actually being, all the things that I've gone through, everything is paid by SAFA. I know the issue of even when the Hawks are dealing with the attorneys that are actually cross-questioning the Hawks are paid by SAFA on behalf of
make me understand this. Make me understand this. Why do the other NEC members and the people in your WhatsApp group who are essentially the people that sit around the board table with you, why do they sit back and say, no, 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 we're not going to be a part of this. We don't know what you're talking about. Leave that alone. Dennis is outside. And it's just the two of you that forge forward and go open the case. Why is it that so many people would sit there and say nothing when they can see millions pour out every month? Because I'm just trying to understand it, bro, really, because I'm sitting there and I'm saying, if I'm sitting around a table and there's so many of us, there's power in numbers, why are we dictated to by what it seems like? I'm talking about what the allegations seem like. Dr. Danny Jordaan, according to what you're telling me, is using personal money for himself. and he's enjoying himself. He's enjoying the protection of the service. He's enjoying the protection of the PR, right? By himself. You guys are all sitting here. Why is it that everybody else would sit and be like, no, we don't touching Danny?
Look, I'll cite one example because I also had a problem. I had a problem the first time when I went in 2013. There was this WhatsApp group of NEC members which I refused to join. And the time I was convinced to join, the kinds of messages that I wouldn't like to say it on air.
But you have to, bro, Willy, because we need to put substance behind this thing. Because at the moment, you know, it's, and I've had Dr. Dennis Mambo here, and we've had these conversations, and it almost seems, and Dr. Danny Jordaan will tell you that it's almost like a personal gripe with Dennis and Danny, the two of them. It's almost like, you know, they're fighting for things beyond this, because there's nobody else that says, yeah, Andile, there's a matter of fact. Like this, like this, like this. So the rest of us go, oh, it's not just a battle between two. The longer we say this happens, I don't want to talk about it, then isn't that further protection of what's happening?
It's further protection because let me just say straight what is happening. Most of the guys who are there, some of them told me straight in my eye, my face, to say, I will never argue with this man because he brought me here. So, and when you look,
does bringing me here have any monetary value, perhaps?
I don't know. Maybe because he's an NEC member. They say he brought them here to be NEC members.
So just because of that, they'll keep quiet in the face of violations and criminality.
They will keep quiet and not talk anything bad. I can say, I mean, he said it in my face to say, I am not going to argue with him. I am not going to say anything bad about him because he brought me here. So that kind of fear, that's where you find the executive cannot really
so an entire supposed to do. National Executive Committee fears the fact that Dr. Danny Jordaan, according to what I'm hearing, might kick you out of the NEC, therefore they keep quiet?
There's a list of those that have been kicked out for saying something. There's a list. I mean, there's a list. Maybe the others are just fearing to be part of the history. And so for them, maybe to save the position, it's better to keep quiet. That's what I will say.
But you don't have to.
No, I never kept quiet. I never kept quiet because I knew why I was there. I knew what I wanted to. Why should I actually stay in that executive? Because there's a lot of things that really, at times, if you preserve your integrity or you love your integrity, you cannot stay. You cannot stay because some of the things are just simple things. Board members have never seen the bank statement of SAFA.
Did you ever say to Dr. Danny Jordaan, hey, I'm worried about this, can we sit and talk about it?
No, by the time I was just like, we were seeing things happening, some of the things will just be bad from you and all those things, but there was a time when I said when Gay was in charge of finances, I spoke to him many a times that I'm not happy in the manner in which the money has been taken out.
But why didn't you ever reach out and say, President, I'm hearing and seeing this. I'm not happy. Can we please have a sit down?
Let me give you a story. I was part of the finance committee. So one day I discovered something in that committee. And the guys were coming to present. I'll give you a typical example.
I don't want an example. I want what happened.
Yeah. The Fun Valley, there were guys who were actually taking storage from some Fun Valley. Those guys were charging almost like 600,000 a month to take the storage. So I queried in a meeting to say, no, I'm using the same system where I'm staying. For me...
What is it, a septic tank?
Septic tank.
Okay.
Yeah. I said, I pay if I've paid more money, is when I pay 400 something.
Yeah.
So the CFO said, no, give us the name of the company so that we can confirm. I gave them the name of the company. They phoned the company. The company went straight to Willy to go and check. And they gave a report that the guys are ripping you off. We will do this with less than 500 rand.
500 rands a month.
Not a month, because you cannot fill up that thing every month. That thing takes almost...
So 500 in how often?
They will say the time if we have to come in and...
So whenever we're coming to clear,
yeah,
it takes months sometimes.
Yeah, maybe 6 months or 8 months.
So every time we come, let's be kind and say every 3 months.
Yeah.
We're being kind.
Yeah.
They'll charge you 500.
500.
Yet SAFA was paying 600,000.
600,000 a month to...
No, man, bro, really, hold on. A septic tank to clean it.
Yeah.
Costs, if you're paying a lot, 1,000 rands a month.
Yeah.
If at time they come.
Yeah.
A septic tank doesn't get full because it's like a long drop at home. You know, it gets full, then you remove everything that's in there.
Yeah.
That's how it works.
Yeah.
It doesn't happen every month. They were doing it every month at a cost of 600,000.
Exactly. So the guy was coming to present that. I said no. But already a lot of money was paid. I said no, this is not going to happen. And then Grooney, the CFO, phoned the company from Pretoria. They said, no, we've got a branch in Joburg. So the branch went there and checked everything, and they gave a report. So the last time I asked Grooney, what happened? Grooney said to me, look, those guys were ripping us off. That's what he told me. But guess what? The next thing, I'm removed from the finance committee, put to where I belong. They said, you are a television man, go to communications. Where
there was another fraud happening.
Exactly. Because then I asked myself,
so bro,
why was I removed from that? But I then followed with Gay, because Gay was in charge. I said, Guy, what are you doing with that kind of a contract where a person is ripping us off? Because the guy came in for good enough. The CFO called that.
Oh, so that guy at 600,000 continued?
Continued. Never stopped. So those are some of the things that I can tell you, that those are some of the things that actually started making me feel like, no, something is not good here.
I must send a disclaimer out. As per usual, when we do stories like this, we reach out to all the parties concerned. We reached out to the office of the president out of the South African Football Association, Dr. Danny Jordaan, and they said no. They cannot comment at this stage because they're going to be taking this to court. We reached out to Dr. Danny Jordaan personally as well, and he too refused our invitation. So it is important to know that we did reach out to them. And at any point, Dr. Jordaan, this platform is available for you to come and have your right of response. Let's take a break. I need to digest why I'd pay 600,000 a month for a job that I can pay 500 rands every 4 months, maybe. It's 6:51 in the Mighty Metro FM. Bro, Willy, I mean, and I'm playing the devil's advocate here. Hear me out. You were never taken care of at SAFA. You probably feel aggrieved, and you and Dennis Mumble aggrieved by the fact that you, outside of SAFA, you could be a hired gun for Dennis Mumble, a further mouthpiece for Dennis Mumble. That's why you're here speaking what you're speaking about SAFA and President Jordaan.
Yeah, look, I don't feel so much aggrieved, to be honest, and I don't think I have any grudge with Danny Jordaan, except what I think how he's leading the organization. That's what I've got a problem with, more especially when you've got people surrounding you that you know come day or what, they will protect me. That's the kind of life. I think I've done enough. Even when I went there, I said I'm just going to stay for 2 seasons, then I'm out. I must just, my age does no longer allow me really to run around, and must give it to other people to come on board. But yes, the situation is unfortunate that I had to live under that cloud.
Because that's the thing.
Yeah.
You know, you are outside.
Yeah.
You are saying these things, crying. How long were you at SAFA for?
From 2013, I'm sure officially out at 2022.
All these years, bro, Willy.
Yeah.
Now it's all guns blazing. This man is not good for SAFA. This man is not good for football. Money's here, money's there, lost.
Look,
when you were there, bro, Willy, did you used to get bonuses as well?
Yeah, sometimes.
Do you think you ever got undue bonuses? Were there ever bonuses that were undue?
Not really.
Bro, Willy.
Yeah, we work. Let me put the story. Is that I staged a fight at the finance. I was moved out.
I hear that, but I want to get to this first. I want us to clarify this because it's important where the information comes from as well.
Yeah.
Were you part of people that were getting bonuses that were not necessarily were undue?
Yes,
so you got bonuses that were undue.
Yes, yeah.
Where you'd get bonuses for no reason really, but the fact that money needed to come out.
They don't call it bonuses; it's honorarium.
But it's wrong.
Well, unfortunately, on the basis that you are in an organization where you never ever saw the bank balance. So,
but really, you know it's wrong, right? You know that those honorarium were wrong.
Yeah.
You received those honorariums.
No, I didn't know they were wrong. I thought that's what is the policy of the company. They were
when did you realize they're wrong?
No.
When did you realize that this is not money that should be coming to us?
Well, I only most of the time I realized immediately when I was out that look, there's no money.
You realized when you were out?
No, I'm saying that because honorarium is part. Look, we're not getting paid at SAFA as an NEC member. You're not getting paid for the whole year.
Hence you said you serve.
Yeah, you do the work, you go to regions, you do everything, and you go all over. You're not getting paid. So at the end of the year, they will say, okay, for all what you've been doing, and it's not us who decide. Is the remuneration committee. They will decide on a certain percentage to say.
What are some of the amounts you received, if you remember? 50,000 sometimes, 10,000, 1,000?
20,000, 50,000, whatever around that.
From an organization that has no money, mind you.
By then we had money. While I was there was money. We just recently hosted the World Cup.
It was just after 2010, yeah. But
yeah, just after
in the last 5 years, you were still receiving them?
I haven't received since I left.
Well, I mean, of course.
Yeah.
But towards the end of your tenure.
From the media, you could see guys are still receiving some money.
That's what I'm saying. Even by the end of your tenure, 2021, 2020.
Yeah.
And the bank statement wasn't looking good then.
I know.
But you were still receiving.
Yeah.
Why didn't you say something about the money you were receiving?
No, by the time the finance person told the NEC that you guys are in the red, that's the last day I sat in that NEC, and that was the first time I hear that you are in the red.
All these years you're sitting there. You don't know that SAFA's bankrupt, that it's in the red.
No.
No idea.
No idea, because the CFO will come and present a good, a very healthy
balance sheet.
And a balance.
Are you not missing that money, Willy, that you used to get, and hence you are now saying this is wrong?
No. Look, a balance sheet is not a bank statement.
No, for sure.
Yeah.
But I stand to my question. Are you not missing the money that you were getting, and now you're saying, these people are wrong because I'm not getting the money anymore?
I'm not missing it. Because personally, to be honest, the only thing that I can still remember what I did with that money, I bought myself a bull.
A bull?
Yeah, of my cows. Yeah.
Would you be willing to give all that money back? Knowing that it's wrong.
I mean, it was about 20,000.
Would you be willing to give all that money back?
If really whatever I've received, I can give it back, because if I knew that we are getting this while the company is bankrupt.
Last one. Do you think this is a strong case? What are your hopes to see happen? Do you want to see Dr. Danny Jordaan in jail?
Look, for me, that's my policy. Is that anybody who do criminal work must end where all the criminals end. That's my policy. If he's found guilty, he must go to jail. Very straightforward. And he knows. I also told him, while I was in Mamelodi, I was the chairperson of Mamelodi two of my treasurers slept in jail, because that's my belief that once you steal the organization's money, it's a criminal case. You must go to jail.
I want to hear you say it. You want Dr. Danny Jordaan in jail?
If he's found guilty of the criminal cases, he must go to jail. Very straightforward. It's not a secret.
Would you be shocked if he wasn't found guilty?
Well, according to... look, we're living in a country where blue can be red, and somebody tell you straight, this is red.
Bro, Willy, this is not the end of our conversation, because this is not the end of the saga. This is just the first bite of this conversation. We'll continue to have it.
Thank you very much.
As it grows, I'll come back to you.
Thank you very much.
Dennis Mumble, I know, is listening as well. The next step, hopefully, we'll be able to have him, but I can't wait to have Dr. Jordaan as well. I'd love to host the president and have him answer some of my questions. I appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
It's 5 after the hour 7. Got to get out of here. Thank you so much. Faith Mangope comes in over the next 2 hours before. It's great music and good conversation after that. My name is Andile Ncube. Pela. And so.